everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my complete and utter disaster of a mess of a sewing room. It is so bad in here that I'm not wanting to walk in the room. So basically, I had actually intended or had actually technically started a project to do for this week that was going to be kind of a nice, easier project to ease myself back into sewing. And it was a small project, or at least like physically small project. So I was like, okay, it's all right that there is only a small section of my sewing table. That's fine. I will just clean it later when I'm done, when I have time. Haha, when do I ever have time? And so I started that project. And then I needed to hoop embroidery for that project. And I realized that I did not have enough space on my table to put my embroidery hoop. That's how small the space was. And then the Ren Fair happened yesterday, and I didn't know what I was going to wear to said Ren Fair, so I pulled out like 4 or 5 different costumes. And those costumes are still mostly everywhere. And that's on top of other costumes that need to be put away as well. So this week we are going to get together and clean and organize and just make things nice and like hospitable again, somewhere where I actually want to go to sew, because that will probably help me to get back into sewing better than any sort of like small project or whatever. It is just so bad in here. So let me turn this camera around and show you just exactly how bad it is in here. Oh yeah, and in here, it's not the only space that's bad, because I have a bunch of fabric that's also piled in my office, as well as costumes and stuff. So I'll show you that too. That's showing you all of my sins, right? But you know what? We all tend to run into something like this at some point or another. And that is what links us as humans, this utter disaster of a mess, right? But we are going to work together to just try and clean and organize everything. Now, this is kind of building on top of organizing that I did a few years ago. So if you do want to watch how I initially organized this room, or like a full tour of my costume closet, because we will be visiting there today, but if you want a full tour, I will link both of those videos down below in the description. But yeah, let's go look at this mess. Brace yourself, folks. It is really, really, really bad in here. So as you can see, I have costume pieces and fabric and more costume pieces and more costume pieces and a dog all over. And then on the sewing table here, I've got more fabric. I've got the interfacing and stuff for the embroidery I was working on. I've got the pieces for that project that I've already cut out, more costume pieces that have to be put away, hat box that has to be put away. Oh, and this corner is really bad, because this is where I cut fabric and then I just leave the fabric that is supposed to then be put away at the end of the project, except that it hasn't been. So all of this is like clean fabric that needs to be pressed and put onto bolts. It's a lot. There's also some like shorts that need mending down there. There's random stuff back here, which I think is like more shorts that need mending. The lace that I got for the purple silk outfit. And then the dress forms don't help because they take up so much room in here. I've got a cat who is hiding more costume pieces that need to be put away. And then I've got the other dress form where we have more costume pieces that need to be put away. Oh, and that's on top of this costume piece, which really needs to be hemmed and then put away. I was going to wear it for the Ren Fair, and then I realized it was just too long. And I don't know why, because I've worn it a bazillion times, but that needs to be re-hemmed before it gets put away, which means that probably it needs to go in the corner where this is the mending pile, except that that hasn't gotten any smaller in like 2 years. And honestly, this velvet skirt is probably too heavy to hang on my hat box rail. And then if we go into the office, we have, guess what? More costumes that need to be put away in my garage costume closet, and a whole bunch more fabric, and also just like linens and stuff. I mean, there's fabric down there. That's fabric for a project that needs to be like rolled and put away. And then this is like a dress that again needs to be either mended or given away. It's an E-Shakti dress that was like the last thing they ever shipped me before they went under, and it just doesn't fit right. And then I've got like bed linens and stuff that need to be all folded up and and put in the closet. Same with the towels. So yeah. And frankly, if we go out to the living room, we have more costumes that need to be put away, plus a box from American Girl stuff that needs to be put away. And guess what? More costume pieces that need to be put away. So yeah, I have a lot to do. So I think I'm going to start with putting the finished costume pieces away, like the ones that go out in the garage closet, which is a lot of this. And that should hopefully clear up some of the space. And then maybe I'll have enough table available by then to start rolling up the fabric that needs to be ironed and rolled and put away. Because as you can see, I keep all of my fabric on these nice little rolls that are really, they're folds. They're around a piece of cardboard, like you can see right in there. And I find that really helpful. So this is anything that's over like about 1.5 yards or so gets rolled onto these bolts. There's more of them over here in the table. And then those are like the scrap bins, which that's the other thing too, is some of my scrap bins are totally overflowing. This one's bad. And my like synthetic princess type fabric is bad, and honestly I should go through and probably get rid of some scraps so that these can actually like go all the way closed. This is my garage closet, which always starts off looking real dark and creepy. And to be honest, even with the light on, it stays a little dark and creepy, and I always worry about walking into a spider web. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a spider in the corner right here. So what I usually do is I take a broom and I just like wave it around the door so that I can even go in here. That's why a lot of stuff doesn't get put away really quickly. Oh no, Dora, do not go in there. I'm gonna accidentally lock you in this closet again. Yeah, this has happened before when she snuck in without telling me. And she literally has gotten trapped in this closet before. Really, Dora? She's also gonna come out covered in dust. Lovely. So yeah, this is my garage closet. I'm gonna wave a broom around to knock down any spider webs and or spiders that are blocking the entrance and the area in here. As you can see, it's not very big. This was once like a little workshop tool room, I guess, from the previous owners, but now it is filled with garment bags and other random costume related stuff. What I do need to do at some point is go around and put more labels like this one on the various bags, particularly those that I can't see through. So as you can see, this is Regency cotton dresses, petticoat, chemise set, though that's not true because I swear I saw the chemise set in the house recently, so I have to find that and put it back out here. And then my Victorian robe. So you can see like this is the one that I'm just putting away here, my petticoat, the purple Regency gown that you guys have seen recently on this channel. And some of them I can see through. So these clear ones are the slightly shorter ones. So basically anything that is a two-piece outfit, like this is my Little Women dress, or behind it is Sleepy Hollow, which is probably a little bit too long for this bag, to be honest. It should probably go in a gown bag. And I'll link to all of these bags on Amazon down below in the description if you want. The gown bags are great. They are really, truly very long. And most of these bags are holding 2 or more costumes, except for costumes that are like significantly large. And then I do also have some that are like, this is quilted petticoats. Actually, this is just 18th century petticoats. I think in here I separated out my Victorian quilted petticoat. Over on this side, I have a whole bunch more that are like just petticoats. This one is, and one other one I think is just, this one is just petticoats. So yeah, everything though out here is either cotton or polyester. I don't keep my wool out here. I don't keep my silk. I don't keep my linen. I probably could keep linen, but I have almost no linen costumes. So yeah, that is everything out here just because those things like won't get eaten by bugs. You have to be careful too, because sometimes the hangers like to poke weirdly at the bags. Like this one was just trying to break free. I just put this skirt away. But yeah, everything's kind of jammed in. I don't know what's going to happen when I truly run out of space in here. Part of the problem is I really don't like putting stuff in the back corner because I can't get to it, and it's the most likely to have spiders in the back corner. So yeah, I tend to only put stuff back there if I really never use it. Oh, and this is how my light fixture is rigged in here. This power strip was already in here. It's like bolted to the wall, and it is plugged into this random outlet that's here. And then this light is an IKEA light that I've just kind of rigged up in the corner through an extension cord and everything so that I can have light. You can see it's clipped onto the shelf up there. But yeah, I've also got like other random stuff, old computer monitors, whiteboards from a job that I had like 2 jobs ago. Oh, I didn't even realize there's an old laptop up here too. I don't even know what that's from. I think that's my laptop from like when I first went off to college, and just other random stuff that I really don't use. Same with some hat boxes for hats that aren't often used. Old Barbie stuff out here too that I don't know what to do with. And to be honest, I don't even know what's down in the corner in bins. I think it's Beanie Babies are down there. Old Beanie Babies that I just don't feel like getting rid of, I guess. So yeah, lots of junk, but also costumes. Now then, let's go back inside and continue our clean. This is the other costume storage case that I have in here. I got this before I built the closet. I don't like this actually because it's open in the bottom. So like anything could get up in there, but I do tend to keep like hoop skirts or bigger, bulkier items in there. Also just really, really random stuff. Like that is an old monarch butterfly kind of Victorianish costume. There's like one of my first ever projects, which is a Hogwarts robe in there. And then there's just some random old skirts that I don't know why are still in there and I should probably donate. But yeah, that's what's in this random standing closet in the garage. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like this is already looking so much better. I've put away all of like the finished costumes. So you can see the Rapunzel stuff over there is my reference for my current project, which is a doll version of Rapunzel. And behind that is the skirt that needs hemming, which I'll probably do on Friday or Saturday at craft days with other people. And then the floor still has all of the fabric on it, but that is a lot better than having all the costumes on it too. So once we can start clearing off the table, then I can start rolling the fabric onto the mini bolts so that I can actually put them away. One of the things that I struggle with every year is where to put the UFOs that have come from Costume College. So this was my like metal thread couching basket weave class project. That's all I got done in class. And let's be real, I'm not planning on doing this for a really, really long time. If I'm desperately in need of some sort of hand sewing, I will probably pick this back up and hope that I remember what I was doing. But in the meantime, I need someplace to store it. And I don't tend to have a lot of UFOs other than unfinished Costume College class kits. So I really don't know where to put this. And I feel like, frankly, everywhere is full, except possibly that drawer right there, which is where I tend to put like tool type stuff, like my wire cutters or my millinery wire or like, I don't know, my wig clamp, other weird big things. I suppose I could put it in there. There is room. Will I remember that I put it there? Nowhere else makes sense. I have no idea where to put this. And yes, some of you are probably saying, just finish it. This is a whole lot of work that I don't have time for and don't have like patience for. So that's why I like to do these sorts of things at Costume College, but ideally I want to finish them at Costume College. This will, in all honesty, probably never be finished. But will I throw it away? No. At least by putting it in here, I will be reminded that it exists every time I go to get millinery wire. Bye. Sometimes other things that wind up on this table are things that need repair. Like, for example, these jazz sneakers that I was going to wear to an audition until I noticed that problem. I've already actually glued this one. I got these secondhand and they started falling apart. I feel like maybe the first or second time that I wore them. Maybe it should have been a sign. They're also like totally flaking the suede. I don't know if you can see all of the little black spots all over the table. That's just from where they were sitting on the table. To be honest, maybe I should get rid of them, but they were really, really inexpensive and I don't have any other jazz sneakers and jazz sneakers are expensive. And frankly, they look new. Like, look at that. So why are they falling apart? I don't know, but I have shoe glue, so I'm gonna go fix them. Now that a large part of the table has been cleared off, it is time to start wrapping fabrics. I'm going to start with the silks because they don't need to be ironed, or at least for the most part, they don't need to be ironed. And in fact, this one gets to wrap onto an existing wrap, which is good because I only actually have 5 of these right now. I may have to cut into more cardboard boxes because I'm pretty sure that I have more than 5 fabrics to wrap. These, by the way, don't do priority mailboxes. These were left behind when an old roommate moved out, and that is why I cut them up, because I knew I wasn't going to mail things priority, use regular boxes because these cost the US government money, basically. Like they provide them for free for you to mail priority. But yeah, don't do these. But the measurements that I have here, this is what you want to do for the calyx cabinets. So those larger IKEA cabinets, and these are 14 by 11 and 3/4. This is the smaller size that I use for really small amounts of fabric, like a yard, maybe two, generally cottons or like scraps left over from a different project. But this is what fits in the Target sized cubbies, like closet made type cubbies. And this one right here, these are more square. This is 10.5 by 10. So yeah, those fit well with the smaller ones. These are a lot more practical. Though with cutting these on certain boxes, you do sometimes, especially over time, wind up getting little bends in them, which is not ideal because you want your fabric to be just nice and flat on here. So I'm going to go ahead and roll some of these full so that I can just get all of those on bolts. Honestly, I don't think I am going to roll or potentially even put away this right here because this is for 6. This is coming really, really soon. Like I'm doing this project within the next month and a half or so. So I'm probably just going to shove it to the back of the table and pretend that it doesn't exist right now because I hopefully won't need the full expanse of the table before I get to that project. And this kind of fabric, which is, you know, like knit, spandexy stuff, I don't even know what you would call this, it's not going to roll well like a silk or a cotton would. I don't know if you guys can see just how improved it is in here, but it is so improved, particularly in this pile or lack thereof in the corner. This is the one that I'm going to be putting on a bolt next, but I have one more bolt that I can put this on and then I'm gonna have to make more. This is cotton organdy, which is gonna be a pain in the butt to iron, which is why I'm kind of leaving it to last. But that's really the only thing that's left over here besides a couple of scraps. And then over here, that is really my next project. So frankly, that's not even gonna get bolted. That's just gonna get ironed. And then that is the long thing of silk that was like 12 or 14 yards. So that needs to get bolted, but that's going to take a little bit longer because it's the longest yardage that I have to go on. And then that's just a petticoat that needs mending. So like there's really only, I think, unless it's burying other things, I think there's only 3 things left over there. So this is so much better. Everything is off the dress forms. As you can see over here, I do want to probably address the corner table area over there because that is kind of a disaster. And I still do have shorts to mend that I've now picked up from the floor and are on my serger, which is what I'm going to mend them with. But overall, so much better. I mean, like, look at the table. You can actually see the table other than the fact that I've got one that's ready to be bolted. So that was one evening's work. We will come back to it tomorrow. I'm feeling really excited because it is looking so much better in here. You can see most of the pile that was over here is gone. I just have to mend the petticoat. That is actually a pattern piece from the Titanic boarding suit. So I need to find where the rest of them went and put that away. And then there's a couple other really random things down there too that need to be cleaned up, but mostly this area is great. And frankly, this area is done. It just needs to be vacuumed. And otherwise, this whole giant corner that has been there for months, literally months, like actually maybe a year. I think I have literally had something piled on the floor here for over a year at this point. That's how bad it's been. And it's done. Up in this area, I think there's really just like a couple pieces of like trash or whatever that need to get put in the trash down there. I still need to mend the shorts. That's what that pile is back there. And I do have a lot of patterns that need to get put away that are over here. So I definitely want to take care of that. And I have no idea where my shoebox went. Those are a pair of American Duchess shoes, the worst pair of American Duchess shoes ever because they fell apart like the second time I wore them and I just keep gluing them and gluing them and gluing them. They're old Kensingtons, just FYI. Yeah, still mad at American Duchess about that. I wrote to them and they said, oh, you followed our painting tutorial. That's why they're broken. So just kind of a warning about stuff like that. And honestly, that bonnet needs to go find a hat box. I don't know why it's been sitting there forever, but it has. The wig honestly will probably still stay there because I don't have a good place to put wigs that are on heads. And I know that I'm going to be using Barbie again for a photo shoot this Christmas time. And then this is just my current project right there. So that gets to stay for now. On the table, I've left the fabrics for the next couple of projects. So this is next up, that's the one after that, and that is either the one after that or there might be one in between there, but otherwise, table is golden. This is just the stabilizer for the embroidery project for Rapunzel. However, although I have picked up the fabric that was in this area over here, I have not yet obviously cleaned up all of the linens. So that's going to be what I tackle next. We are going to get all of those linens and that random dress that either needs to be donated or altered, and we are going to put it all away. So this is the reason why I have such a hard time putting away my linens, is because everything needs to fit on basically one shelf in my linen closet, because the rest of my linen closet has become costume storage. Hats, bonnets, more bonnets, some antique parasols. This shelf down here is just other random stuff. But yeah, everything needs to get like rolled up and squeezed in here. It's 2 layers deep. I don't even think you can tell. There's a whole separate layer of like towels and sheets and stuff back there. It's just so much stuff. And it's not even like it's so much stuff. It's just too small of a space for too much stuff. So it stresses me out. However, as you can see, the office space is now clean, which makes me feel so much happier and so much more peaceful. I mean, basically the whole floor is clean. I do need to put away a little bit of American Girl stuff there, but that's not so bad. But yeah, so clean in here. Yay! And frankly, despite there still being a little bit of stuff on the floor and on the table in the corner, almost everything in here is also now clean. I mean, the floor is clean. The floor is even vacuumed, which looks beautiful. And I fixed all but one pair of the shorts, which needs to be hand sewn. Still haven't found the shoebox for my American Duchess shoes. I don't know where that is, but I'll probably put them in a different shoebox. And I still have a few patterns to put away, but not very many. And then this stuff I think is really just kind of like scraps of fabric that I need to put away. But yeah, everything else is clean, which means we can get back to work on Rapunzel. Now that everything is all organized and put away, I am feeling so much better about diving back into sewing, and I'm really, really excited to get back onto the Rapunzel project that I mentioned earlier, and also all of my fall sewing projects. I'm so excited for them. If you don't know what I'm talking about with all of the upcoming projects, I did actually release a video last week about that, so I will link that video right up here so you can go check it out if you haven't seen it yet, as well as down below in the description. But yeah, it is time to go do so much sewing for spooky season especially. Anyway, that's going to be it for me for this video. If you liked this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube at least once a week, usually with sewing vlogs out on Tuesdays, and sometimes additional costuming related content out on Saturdays, but I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below, or you can send me a super thanks or join my YouTube channel memberships right here on YouTube below the video. I'd also like to take this time to thank all of my absolutely amazing patrons without whom I could not do all of this, but especially my patrons at the Romantic, Victorian, and Edwardian level tiers, who are Jean, Kim, Audra, Emily, Dan, Janet, Deborah, Max, Liz, Robin, Nurse Anita, Linda, Jen, and Dale. Thank you all so much, and thank you all for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing or cleaning!